I wouldn't recommend listening to this alone. Many viewers miss the real horror by leaving early. Stay till the end, if you dare. The calls always came after midnight. At first, Emily believed it was just another prank, someone testing her courage now that she lived alone in her new apartment. But the voice on the other end of the phone wasn't laughing. It wasn't threatening. It wasn't even human. It was whispering, soft, breathless, close enough to feel like it was right beside her. "He's inside the house." Emily would freeze, gripping her phone so tightly her fingers turned white. Every time she checked, every time she searched the rooms, nothing was ever there. No broken windows, no forced locks, no footprints, but the whisper kept returning. And each night, it got clearer. Finally, terrified, she called the police. 2 officers arrived, young, bored, convinced it was either a prank or some hallucination caused by stress. They checked her place, talked to neighbors, even traced the calls. The surprising part, the calls were coming from inside the house's wiring system, not from any active number. One officer joked, "Maybe your house is calling you. Old buildings act weird." Emily didn't laugh. The next night, it escalated. The whisper didn't just speak, it mimicked her voice. When her phone rang at 2:19 a.m., she answered without thinking. Emily. She recognized it instantly. Her own voice. Except it was lower, slower, as if something deep inside her throat was trying to crawl out. "Don't scream," it whispered. "He's standing right behind you." Emily spun around. Nothing. Just darkness. Her phone dropped from her hand as she ran outside barefoot, dialing the police again. 2 officers came, but this time, they weren't patient. They checked the house again but found no intruder. "Look," one officer sighed, "there's nothing here. Maybe you need rest." But Emily knew what she heard. She couldn't forget that voice, the twisted, heavy version of her own. The police left. She was alone again. The shadow in the corner. Around 3 a.m., just when she was finally convincing herself it might be all in her head, her phone lit up again. No ringtone, no vibration, just the screen lighting on its own. A message appeared, "I'm coming upstairs." Emily felt her blood freeze. She wasn't alone, she knew it now. Footsteps echoed on the stairs outside her door. Not fast, not slow, steady, deliberate, dragging slightly. She backed away from the door, breath shaking, heart beating hard enough that she could hear it in her ears. Thump, thump, thump. The footsteps stopped right outside her apartment. Her phone buzzed again. "Don't move." She covered her mouth with her shaking hands. Tears filled her eyes. She wanted to scream but couldn't make a sound. Then, the doorknob began to turn. Slowly, metal creaking like bones breaking. Emily dashed into the kitchen, grabbed the biggest knife she could find, and dialed the police again with trembling fingers. "Someone is outside my door," she whispered. "Please. He's trying to get in." "We'll send someone," the dispatcher said. But Emily could hear it in her voice. She thought Emily was imagining things. The police arrived too late. When the officers arrived, they found Emily sitting on the living room floor, staring at her front door. It was open just a few inches, the chain lock broken clean through. No intruder, no footprints, but the knife Emily had been holding was now lying on the floor with drops of blood beside it, not hers. One of the officers knelt beside her. "Emily, are you hurt?" She shook her head slowly. "I didn't see him," she whispered, voice hollow. "I only saw his shadow, longer than a person should have. It stretched across the wall, like it was reaching for me." The officers exchanged glances. Confusion, pity, doubt. They took her statement and searched again. Nothing. Finally, one officer sighed and said, "Look, When the police can't help, maybe you should stay with family or friends for a few days. Houses make noises. Stress causes illusions. Emily interrupted him, her voice trembling. Shadows don't bleed. That silenced them. The blood sample was sent for testing. It never matched any human profile in the database. Not even close. The final call. Emily moved out that same night, leaving everything behind. She stayed at her sister's house, refused to be alone in any room, and never answered unknown calls again. But one night, exactly a week later, her sister found her phone buzzing at 2:19 a.m. Same time as before. Emily refused to pick it up. The phone stopped ringing, then rang again. The screen flashed with a message. "You can't run from me." Her sister, confused, answered the call. For a long moment, all she heard was heavy breathing. Then a voice whispered, "Not Emily's, not human, something else. Tell her, I know where she lives now." The call ended. Emily didn't sleep that night, because she now understood one horrible truth. When the police can't help, something unhuman is after you. If this story stayed in your mind longer than it should, leave a like, subscribe to Grim Wave, and tell me in the comments what part disturbed you the most.